Marco Dominic Gonzalez. On my last video, I was just saying, my dad brought in a soap that's similar. I don't know if this has been interchanged, but the soap that I initially used actually migrated what was on my palms to the back of my hands, meaning they would not on my palms anymore. And then I needed to see a doctor, a registered nurse, to say, what is this? Is it something that's alive? Is it whatever? You know what I mean? What is that? Well, we didn't get to the bottom of that when I talked to the nurse. Nurse basically said to me, don't worry. You're worrying too much about it and that kind of thing. You know, like, really? Something was coming out of your hands. I mean, one of them actually came out and she couldn't flick it off. But she says, you see that? And she flicked it off. She goes, oh, it's like metallic. It's metallic. I believe she didn't use like. She said it's metallic. That only tells me that either she put it on there and is flicking it off saying that's metallic, or she knows it's metallic by then testing something saying, oh my gosh, that's metallic. But I don't know the truth on that. All I know is she tried to flick one of them off and she couldn't. She's like, well, that one's not getting flicked off. What is it? And she just looked. I mean, it's like she's looking at it and doesn't want, you know. She goes, well, don't worry about it. If it comes out, just flick it off. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, you know, what are you gonna do? You can't force people to tell you 100% truth. At first, she wanted to cut the, you know, she goes, oh, well, this is just a 15-minute thing. I said, look, man, when I go to the emergency room, it's less than that. The doctor doesn't want to hear all my grievances. When I went to the emergency room when I saw that, when did I see the doctor? On the 31st of December. He didn't want to hear all my grievances. He's walking out the room. It's like, I want somebody to hear what my grievances are. So she ended up, she tried to cut me a couple of times off. She ended up at least listening to, I want it to be a statement that I'm saying that this is issues that I have. So that ended up happening thing, but I want that given to my lawyer. I want the meeting between me and that nurse given to, I want every time I'm saying to give it to my lawyer, I mean it. So you know what is said. What's the demeanor of how something is said. How somebody is saying something, what their body language is. If somebody's saying, well, you're this, you're that, let's look at the video. But it's not somebody's, you know, I don't want false statements being made on recollection. It's like, this is actually what was said. And that kind of thing. Anyways. But I said, look, man, this migrated whatever was on my palms to the back of my hands. It started, and then I started saying, oh my gosh, man, what's that? And, you know, it's like, oh, Jesus. It's like, I don't know, are they supposed to take a sample of it? I say, well, okay, well, you can't, well, she couldn't flick this one off. It's just, she's just looking at it. I say, well, just flick it off when it comes out. It's not itchy. I said, it's not itchy. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't, but how could something come out of the skin and then go right back in the skin, but it's not moving? And then I said, it's a phenomenon, and she just smiled, and she's, you know, looking at her computer, typing and things like that. And, you know, I don't know. So what I did was yesterday, I ended up bathing with this whole thing. I said, okay, I'm going to pour some salt in this bathe, because if it migrated what was here to here, then I don't want any of this. But, I mean, she didn't say anything. She was looking at me. She found my beard and she's, you know, I'm like, is it a bed bug? And she didn't say yes or no on that. She says, no, the bed bugs are in the seams of your bedspread. That's not a bed. So she's not saying yes or no. She's answering with a fact about something else. You know, I'm noticing that, you know, but you know, you never know. It's like, what do you know? You can't make somebody tell you. You can't. You can only ask the questions. I'm just recollecting the